My name is Dr. Chris Numalen, and the class today will be on strategic and operations management. So I would like you guys to communicate to your fellow classmates to come online, as the number of students is online is very few. So I want to believe that you all can hear me as I'll be sharing you my screen so that we can all look at strategic management quickly and operational management. Last week we did start by explaining detailed on strategic management. Today we'll be looking at chapter 2. We are going to briefly look at operations management. So what I'll be doing today is to touch one after the other, please, and I explain that you guys should possibly screenshot each page so that you can read. I had 2 classes yesterday, and maybe some of you were part of those classes where I did explain that it's possible that your exam might be holding online because from all indication, school resumption, the earliest date for school resumption might be July. And what happens to JPTS students? We do not want this stay-home policies to affect you guys. So I want you guys all to take very important the online classes. Many persons may end up failing massively, but we are not going to take excuse for not attending the online class as an excuse. We have greatly publicized this. We have spent so much resources to ensure that all lecturers are online to be available at every time. All you need as students is to also sacrifice your time and make sure that you're online to take your class quickly. We'll look at what's operation. Operation management is about the management of processes that produce goods and services. It's about processes that produces goods and services. Not every organization will have a functional department called operations. So it's about that processes that manufactures or that produces goods. How is the process like? Under quality management system, for some of you, you would have also undertake a course called GMP, Good Manufacturing Practice. So operations here is the management of processes here. So, but they will help you undertake operations activities because every organization produces either goods or deliver services. The operational manager will be responsible for managing resources involved in those processes, managing resources, managing individuals, knowledge, equipment that are involved in managing. So when you hear the word operation basically means management of the processes that leads to the production of goods and services of an organization. The role of operational management is to manage the transformation of an organization input into finished goods. So input into finished goods. So let's look at Coca-Cola as a case study. Coke also have an operation to what to produce input into finished goods. The finished goods in this case is the bottle of Coke. So what are the input? The input are the human knowledge, the input are the raw materials, the input are whatsoever is needed to make up for the final production. So a production manager or operations manager is involved in managing and ensuring that the transformation of the input into finished product it's done in best practice. So there are 2 main types of transformation resources. One, facility, such as building, and staff. Transformation resources, facility and staff, because these are the 2 main, apart from raw material, and the 2 main facilities such as building, equipment, machines, and the staff are people involved in the operations. These are 2 main. There are 3 main type of transform resources. There are 3 main type of transform resources. One, transform resources, main type of transform resources, and there are 2 main type of transforming resources. So you can see the 2 different words: transforming resources and transformed resources. Transforming resources, facilities, staff, transform resources. Talk about material, talk about information, and talk about customer. So if you have a question that says mention and explain the 3 main type of transformed resources, you should understand that if I'm not referring to transforming resources. Let's look at the role of service in operation management. The rise of prominence of service sector in economics. of developed countries is due to the increase in what attempts customer services and producer services. Customer services are services that aim at the final consumer. Consumer services, sorry, are services aimed at the final consumer, and these have risen in line with people increasing disposable income in developed countries. While producer services are used in production of delivery of goods and services and constitute firm providing service such as consultancy services, legal services. You can see that there are two different. Consumer services are services that are rendered to meet up with the need of people who the final consumers, that is those that consume. While producer services are those that need your service to re-engineer that which you are giving them as an input to their final production. So producer service is a service that you offer, like a legal service, like is needed for something. But like consumer service is a service that you offer to someone who eventually consumes it, do not need it for a reproduction of another service. So service can be classified by their tangibility. So let's look at why the way they are delivered can be classified by their what simultaneity. So let's look at tangibility. Classified by classified by tangibility, delivered classified by simultaneity. So let's look at what does it mean. Tangibility means this is the most common used distinction between goods and service. Tangible. Goods are tangible. They are physical things that can be touched. Service are intangible. You know what? You cannot touch service. For example, this is a service company. Jupiter is a service company. And one of the things we do is to impact you knowledge. So the information I'm passing to you is intangible. You cannot touch it. You only know that you have been impacted by knowing new things that you never knew before. By seeing that the knowledge you have gotten from GPTs is improving your well-being and you're using the knowledge for opportunities to improve your life. But products like those that manufacture Coke bottles, these are tangible matter. So let's look at simultaneity. This relates to the characteristics that services are produced and consumed simultaneously. You can see that they are produced and they are consumed simultaneously because if you do not produce at the rate at which it's consumed, there will be what something called just in time, there will be stock. So it must be simultaneously. If so, both must work together according to law of economics. So simultaneity is important that you increase production as consumed increase, as the rate of consumption rather increase, and you try to increase rate of consumption. You want to increase your produce. So if you want to make more profit, you don't make more profit by producing at large quantity. You can even run at loss if the rate of consumption is not simultaneous to the rate of production. So now, if you want to make more profit, what you do is this: to make sure you increase rates of consumption. How do you do that? By increasing your marketing, advertising, awareness, quality of products, and the rest of them. So when your consumption rate of products is increased, then you can now meet up with same. So by now, we should be able to distinctly explain what tangibility, and simultaneity means. I'm not going to be talking about strategy because I took. Okay, let me talk about it. Though I took last week to really explain what strategy is, and we look at the background of where strategy started from. Strategos, which is a Greek word that emanated from the military, because the word strategy started from the military. When the military were planning to go to war, one of the things they do is to make up strategy, because you cannot win a war without strategy. And we did explain and corroborate business with war. We said today's business is like war because you have competitions, you have to meet up with competitions, you have to win the game of business. So you need to have strategy. Even for your personal life, what is your success strategy? He that does not plan to succeed plans to fail. So that is the strategy. Let's look at strategy can be seen to exist in three main levels. One, corporate strategy, business strategy, and functional strategy. Let's look at corporate level strategy. Please, you have to flow with me because I'm a little bit fast. Please, I know many students have complained that lecturers should slow down the pace of. Remember, we only have 4 times to contact with you in this class before your exam. So this is the second class. So third and fourth. After the fourth class, we are done with the class. So we need to increase a little the speed at which we take you. So, but at the same time, we want to ensure that you also follow. At the highest or corporate level, the strategy provides long-range guidance for the whole organization. What business should we be in? That is corporate strategy. Those that plan strategies are the management level. So at that level, they want what business should we be in? These are corporate strategy. Let's look at business level strategy. Here, the concern is with the product and service. Here, corporate strategy is more like policies and regulation. Business strategy is more like product and service that should be offered in the market. Define at the corporate level too. How do we compete in business? So look at the question we ask in business strategy is how do we compete in this business? The question we ask in corporate strategy here is what business should we be in? So let's look at functional level strategy now. This is where the function of business, e.g., operations, marketing, finance, makes long-term plan which supports the competitive advantage being pursued by the business strategy. How does the function contribute to the business strategy? You can look at the different questions that has been asked. We talk about the corporate level strategy, the business level strategy, and the functional what's it called, level strategy. Sorry, if my battery goes off, I'm going to charge my laptop and come back with the class. So do not bother that my battery is down. So if my battery goes off, just remain with the class. I'll go off, then I'll come back with you just within 3 minutes. I will be back. So let me continue before that happens. So what is operational strategy? Operational, we define operation as what management process for processing input into what final product, right? So let's look at what is operational strategy. Operations strategy is the total pattern of decision which shape the long-term capabilities, which shape the long-term capabilities Oh, so let me continue. Operation strategy is a total pattern of decision which shape the long-term capabilities of any type of operations and their contribution to overall strategy through the reconciliation of market requirements with operational resources. Operational resources. So operation, let's go over it again. Operation strategy is a total pattern of decision which shape the long-term capabilities of any type of operation and their contribution to overall strategy through the reconciliation of market requirements with operations resources. Simple. Operation strategy. How best do we produce? How best do we dry? How best do we undertake our production to meet up with the market need now? That is a strategy. For example, now Coke now have Diet Coke. Coke now understand that we need to produce Coke that have less sugar because now we now have more diabetic patients. Which of course many of these we know diabetes can be hereditary, but it's also a function of the intake of sugar. And most of the intake of sugars we record are from all these gaseous, they cause it, and now they're not looking at okay, how do we now produce less sugar content Diet Coke? So these are what operational strategies now because we are not trying to look at what reconciliation with market requirement now. So whatsoever strategy you want to impute in your operations must be that will reconcile with market requirements. You are trying to look at the market response. How will the market respond to this? Look at there's a company called Biggie now. Biggie is trying to compete with Coke, Biggie products, and they are coming out with virtually product that Coca-Cola does not have. You have Biggie Chapman, you have Biggie Fruity, you have Biggie Cola, you have Biggie like Fanta products. You have because they are looking at their production now with in line with the requirements of the market. And talk about in line with that. So let's look at from the previous definition operations strategy is concerned with reconciliation of market requirements and operational resources. Yes, though I did not talk so much about operational resources, but that is very key. Sometimes you cannot meet up market requirement if you don't have the operational resources to do that. operational resources, the kind of machines. Remember when we talk about operations, let's go a little bit back. When we talk about operational resources, what do you call transforming resources and what transformed resources? Those are the two. Now, operational resources are the type of facilities the company has, type of staff. Are they well knowledgeable to do what is needful? The facility, do they need a new equipment, materials that they have access to, the information and customers. You see, these are operation what resources. I want us to understand this. Let's go forward. From the previous definition, operation strategy is concerned with reconstitution of market requirements and operation resources. It does this by what certifying market requirements. I've mentioned that. Two, taking decision on the deployment of operation resources with which affect the performance objective of operation. Taking decision on the deployment, like mobilizing now mobilizing your resources to meet up with objective of operations, which is also tied to the word market reconciliation now. So let's look at using a market-based research to operation strategy. An organization make a decision regarding the market and the customer within those markets that it intends to target. You see, I was talking about Coca-Cola. Okay, now I want to produce Diet Coke. Who is Diet Coke targeting? Diet Coke is targeting diabetic, because we now know from their research, they now know the percentage of the market niche that don't want to drink sugar, that want to take diet. You see, so they're trying to focus on that. I'm only using this company as an example. So let's quickly come here. Here are an assessment of the operation decision regarding we have structural decision and we have infrastructural decision. Structural decision, we'll be looking at that on page 10, but physical arrangement and configuration of resources, structural. Infrastructural decision, activities that take place within the operations structure. The activities that take place within the operations structure. Quickly, we'll be looking at chapter 3, operation strategy formulation. How do you formulate your operation strategy? Very, very important for us to know. What we have done in the previous chapter is to you're going to give me like 2 to 3 minutes. Let me plug my laptop, then I'll be back with you.
Please, let's be patient for the lecturer who will join us very soon. He will be back very soon. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm back, and I want to believe that you can hear me now, Mr. Yomi. If you can
Yes,
hear
we
me,
can hear you, sir. Yes,
okay,
yes, I can hear you, sir.
okay,
Yes, sir.
thank you. So I had to log
Yes, sir.
off and log in
Yes. But
again.
your screen is not shared yet.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I'm sharing my screen now, and I believe you can all hear me. So let me go to chapter. So I said there are many alternatives to operation strategy formulation. Operation strategy formulation is done by a professional who have gone through this course. So at the end of this course, you could also become a strategic manager, even where you work or in any place you want to get a job, to help formulate strategy, marketing strategy, finance strategy, engineering practice strategy, operation strategy. But this is the template which we'll be going through. This will be generally required. You'll be generally required to do an analysis on the market requirement before you can formulate the strategy. First, you have to do a requirement on the market requirement, then on the resources, operational resources. So these are the two things you'll be looking at. Do an analysis on market requirements and the resources available. So that helps you to build a what? An operations strategy formulation. So YIELD 2005 provides an iterative framework that links together the corporate objective, which provides the organization direction, the market strategy, which defines how the organization will compete in its chosen market, and the operation strategy, which defines capability to compete in those markets. The operation strategy will help you to compete in your market. The marketing strategy will tell how you want to compete in your chosen market. Let's look at the five framework by Hills. One, it said define one, know your corporate objective. What is your corporate objective? What is your corporate objective? Some company corporate objective is to dominate 50% of the market. Like Coca-Cola has one of their major objectives, marketing objective, in line with their corporate objective, is apart from providing beverage, safe and healthy beverage for household, is they have a market share they want to dominate. They will tell you that they want to dominate 50% of market share, 70% of market share, 10% of market share. So you need to know. Determine market strategy to meet this objective. So what market strategy do you want to employ to make sure that you retain your market share? What are the strategies? Okay, we are gonna employ distributor. For example, what Dangote is doing, Dangote company, because in 2016, one of our company, not JBTS here, one of our company recruited all the distributors for one of the Dangote's company, all. So we have to change their marketing plan. I'm going to explain what we did. KPMG designed the marketing plan for Dangote company, but it didn't work. Not because KPMG was not a good company, no. But what happened is our company met and we designed another. What we did was this. Dangote, because of this class, that is why I'm bringing this up. So it's not really for you to. So what Dangote company has a distribution channel, which other company also have. The kind of distribution channel they have is that they have distributors, they have major distributors, and they have distributors. And they also have what is called sales boy. Sales boy is equipped with a truck, with a van, and the sales boy is attached to a distributor. So what happens is a distributor drops an amount of money to become a distributor and is given a territory. So someone can be given a territory like the whole of Mushi in Lagos. So let's say Port Harcourt, Rumukuroshi in Port Harcourt. Let's say in Akwa Ibom, Uyo in Akwa Ibom. Let's say in Enugu, in Enugu town, metropolis, let's say in Calabar, let's say Calabar municipal, you can see that. So somebody will be giving that territory. So nobody else is giving that territory, but you have an amount to pay to the company. Once you pay that amount, you are made a distributor. The money you have paid is not to the company, it's for them to use to service you products. So for example, you pay 10 million. So you'll be given a product worth 10 million. So it means that anybody that wants to buy the product from that territory comes to you to pick the product. Now, what Dangote company now does is that they now employ a sales boy who is given a truck, a van. The guy resumes with the what's it called, the distributor every day. Help the distributor to move the products that have been ordered within that territory. So a distributor necessarily do not have a truck. Once you're a distributor, you have money, they will also give you a sales boy. So when somebody in, let's say, 3 kilometer order and say, oh, madam, I cannot come and pick, can you help me? So you don't need to stress yourself, because if you move the product, you'll be making so much losses because of the cost of logistics. So that is the simple strategy, distribution strategy for Dangote company. Have distribution, have a sales boy. Dangote company pays the sales boy and the driver, not the distributor. So that is the strategy now. So are they meeting up? No. So when we came in, we said what we did with them is this. Okay, there was a challenge. So what we did, we said, okay, you have many sales truck, and this sales truck are scattered all over Nigeria. Now there's a challenge in sales. Let us bring all the sales truck to Lagos and Ibadan. Let us start developing from. We now did a bottom to top approach. Let's start developing from Lagos Ibadan, then we move across to the north. So what we did was this: we withdrew all the truck that they have, the van, all over Nigeria, and they brought all the vans to Lagos, the Ikeja office, they fixed them, and we recruited a new 100 distributors for them, just within Lagos and Ibadan. So when we did that, the new distributors we recruited for them don't need to pay 10 million or 5 million. So we now help them by cutting off the money they pay to truck owners, to van and stuff. So what we did was this: we gave the truck directly to distributors, the van. We said, okay, if you're a distributor, you get. So what we did, we saved Dangote huge amount of money without losing staff. So we gave the truck, we made the distributor have a mentality that, oh, this is my property. So they started using the van for their own products. But we now gave them monthly targets, which was not so before. What happened within 2 months? The subsidiary of Dangote company was selling more than what they were selling in the whole of Nigeria, just in Lagos and Ibadan. And we now use that concept to expand to order from Ibadan to Ondo, from Ondo to Ekiti, from Ekiti, we expanded to Osun, from Osun, Port Harcourt, we now expanded that way, and it brought so much success. Why am I analyzing this to you? What your marketing strategy must meet your objective. Now, your objective, and they were able to meet up their market need and their niche. Marketing strategy to meet your objective, that is number 2 here, must meet. So you must look at that critically. Because what we did was we were able to look at the capacity, operation, what's it called? Both the organization and the capacity. Oh, you have 120 van, but this 120 van is scattered all across Nigeria. That is the capacity. So how best do we use it? Let's focus it on a region so that we can, if you're looking at 30% market niche, we can get 30% market in Lagos and Ibadan. Then we can sustain it by going from a bottom to top approach rather than doing top to bottom approach. So let's look at number 3. Assess how different products win orders against competitors. Assess how different products win. So you might have, for example, do you know that companies now use their own products to compete against their own products? I don't know if you understand me. Like, for example, now Pepsi and Coke is owned by the same company. Sometimes you see in the market that Pepsi is competing against Coca-Cola products. Have you not seen that? They will be using their own product to compete against their product, not because they're trying to use internal competition to combat external competition. So you now see 7-Up is competing against its product from the same company. You will see Nigerian Brewery is producing Star, is producing Gouda, is producing other, and before you know, they'll be using Gouda and Star to compete with themselves. The same company, produce the same thing. So establish how different products win orders against. You can see, even, do you know that it took House of Senate they have to call a meeting between biggie company and Coca-Cola because the competition and the rivalry of the company so much. They have to call them and say, you guys should come down. Because today you will see biggie product will increase the size of its bottle by 20%. Pepsi will increase by 20%, but Coke will not because Coke is a premium product. Coke don't want to touch that name Coke because the name Coke is it's just like what happened to Start Time. There was a time Start Time and DSTV was competing. DSTV and Start Time. Start Time came and they crashed their monthly subscription to how much? They crashed it down to about they crashed their monthly subscription to about 2,000 or so. Then DSTV was still charging 10,000, 18,000 or so. And it was difficult for DSTV. You know what DSTV did? DSTV is an household name. They don't want to rubbish that name. What DSTV did was they brought out another name called GoTV. And they now use GoTV to compete with what? StarTime. But DSTV still remain. Assess how different products win order against competitor. Establish the most appropriate mode to deliver this set of products. How do you deliver it? I've been explaining from my example. Provide the infrastructure required to support operation. See, I've given you guys analysis of how and what. My time is, I have just 4 minutes left. I think 4 minutes left, yeah. So I've given you guys how Coca-Cola have been able to compete. I also use DSTV to tell you DSTV competed with StarTime. My assignment to you guys is this: you are going to look at the markets, Nigeria international market. Give me an example of two companies, rival companies, and tell me how one was able to compete with another. I gave you two examples. I told you how we helped Dangote to build his brand. I gave another example of how Coca-Cola have been able to compete, even within himself, against other company. I've given you another example of how DSTV and StarTime. I want everybody in this class to make a research. Tell me of how, I want a practical example of a company recent time who has competed, how they compete, what was their competition, their marketing strategy, their what's it called, their operation strategy in gaining their market share, in meeting up with their corporate objectives. So my assignment to you is this: research and write a narration for me how a company was able to sustain its market via the use of via the use of what operation strategy, just like I've done. I don't know how to explain this assignment, but for those 73 people who are online, you should be able to understand me now. I'm going to repeat again. You're going to research now online, and you're going to tell me, apart from these companies I've mentioned, how the companies you have researched was able to sustain its competition via the use of marketing strategy and operation strategy. So you're going to write a narration for me. It will take you to detail. I don't want the same company by the same different people here. So I'm expecting 75 assignments from 75 persons that are watching me today. 73, sorry. And this is your assignment must be submitted to irenuba@yahoo.com. Irenuba is spelled I have. Let me see if I can write the assignment out so that, because I'm just research and write. So I'm typing it. I believe you guys can see research and write how a particular company was able to compete through effective operations and market strategy. Submit. So submit your answers to this. Okay, please. Okay, okay. There's a way I can send this to everybody. Let me see. Sorry, I'm trying to see. Okay, I believe I've been able to. If I send it to you, please, you can help me forward it to all the class. If that was sent to you, can copy it. I don't know if it's possible for you to copy and send to all the
All
class.
right, sir. All right.
So please, that is it. And I think my time is up. I hope you guys enjoyed this class. And I pray that you guys, please, let's stay in touch. Always attend your class so that we can round up this class with you online. Let me explain this. It's only in Nigeria that people run away from online training. I know we have issues with our internet and so many other things, but this is the truth. Every part of the world now, apart from Nigeria, the students are not on break. Even if they are at home, they are still their life did not stop. But we Nigerians, we've allowed the way things are being done in Nigeria to hold us down. We need to start looking at global practice. If we want to compete globally, we need to start doing things that are done globally. It might not be easy, but we must subject ourselves to the change. That is the only way out. Thank you again. God bless you all for your time. Bye. So Yomi, you can end it. I'm leaving the class.